Hello there, music lovers. Thank you so much for stopping by this channel. So what about Styx? Bringing back their old classic, Mr. Roboto, putting it back into the set list after so many years of avoiding it. Styx is currently using it in the encore for their new tour, which just got kicked off recently. They're on tour with Joan Jett and Tesla. And they decided to bring back Mr. Roboto. This is a song that they haven't played in a long, long time, like since the 80s. And, even when they got back with Dennis and Tommy back in the late 90s, when they did the whole Return to Paradise album and tour, remember that? They didn't even play Mr. Roboto then. So it just goes to show you how much Tommy and JY not too crazy about that song. But in their defense, I will say this. A couple things. First of all, Mr. Roboto is really a singer's song. That's why it works very, very well for Dennis. He has to do it when he goes out and does his solo shows. I mean, there's a lot of vocals going on there. It's very much a theatrical kind of song, especially if he has the mask. I know that someone had stolen it at one point. He had lost it or something. I don't know if he ever got it back. But it's definitely more of a singer's song. In terms of Styx, Tommy and JY don't have anything there. I mean, there's no real harmonies. There's no guitar riffs. There's no guitar solos. And, there's just not a lot of meat on the bone for Tommy and JY. There's nothing much for them to do during that song. It would be more or less giving it as a gift to Gowan to do his thing and as a gift to the fans. But obviously, Tommy and JY have been holding off on that gift for many, many years, and so they've decided to pull it out. And, so I don't really blame them for, throwing it out there. I don't think it's a song that they should be playing every single tour, but yeah, throw it out every now and then. No big deal. Give something back to the fans. After all, they did help make that song very, very big back in the day. But my problem is that Styx has got other songs that were hits that they're not even doing. Babe, of course they're not going to do that one. Tommy's not too happy about that song, not too big on the ballads. I often wonder if Tommy ever had a conversation with Kevin Cronin of REO Speedwagon and, was like, what are you doing with that Can't Fight This Feeling, Aren't you a rock band? Why don't you pull that out of the set list? And Kevin Cronin would probably look at him and be like, what the hell, are you kidding? This is like one of our biggest songs. But Tommy and JY see it differently. They want to be a rock band again. When they separated from Dennis, they brought back the old Styx logo and they wanted to be a rock band like they were originally, when no one gave a shit. And that's how they want to be now, a rock band where no one gives a shit. And so, they've avoided, now a song like Babe, I can see. That's a Dennis song. He wrote it for his wife. With Dennis not being there, kind of crazy to do that song. I'll give you that, okay? But we're not done yet. They've got a couple of other songs that they haven't been doing. Actually, they've got about 3. But what about Don't Let It End? That was another single from the Kilroy album, and that's a good song. I mean, it's very well written. It's got good lyrics, very good melodies. You've got a guitar part in there. You've got harmonies. You could easily pull that out and satisfy a lot of fans. But it's too ballady. I get the impression that Tommy and JY just don't want to go there. All right, I'll give you that one. But what about this next one? The Best of Times. Now, this is a Styx classic. I mean, this is kind of like a Come Sail Away in a shorter time frame with not as much dynamics, but, it's a really good song. Lyrically, got good hooks, good melody, good guitar part in there. The harmonies are really good. Everybody can shine. Why doesn't Styx play this song? This was a big hit for them. They should be playing it. They haven't played the Best of Times since really, they've played it a handful over the past 20 years, but they really haven't done it since the 90s. And I think that they should be pulling that out. Styx, I can see them giving up a hit or two maybe because they're tied to Dennis, but there's no excuse for the Best of Times. That should be a regular in the set list. And it got me thinking about some other bands that have kind of avoided hits, like Radiohead. Remember, they hate Creep. Their biggest hit, Creep. They can't stand it. I think the lead singer, York, he said it's crap. And so for the longest time, they didn't even play it. And they still kind of do it here and there. It's not really a staple. Then we got the Beastie Boys, Fight for Your Right to Party. Remember that song? Yeah, they didn't like doing that song live. David Bowie in 1990, he had this Sound and Vision tour, Adrian Belew on guitars, and he had put out this box set, and he decided, I'm not doing any more of my classics after this tour. I'm going to start focusing on new stuff, and I don't want to play Changes. I don't want to play Space Oddity and all those songs. And, you know, it took a lot of balls for someone like him. He had a lot of hits in the 70s and 80s, so just walk away from them and do something new. But that's the kind of monstrous beast of an artist that David Bowie was. Eric Clapton, he didn't like doing Tears in Heaven, the song about his son dying. It was because he didn't feel like he didn't have the emotional attachment that he did when he first wrote the song, and so he felt like he couldn't really deliver it good enough, and so he decided not to really do it. And then you got Prince. Because of his religious thing going on, he took a lot of songs out of his own catalog, a lot of hits, a lot of big songs that he could have been playing. He decided not to. So you can kind of see why bands do this, because of their beliefs. They don't feel like they can really sing it with the same passion that they used to, or maybe they just flat out hate the stuff, which I think is maybe where Tommy and JY kind of fall in. They just don't feel like these songs fit in with their rock and roll image. All right, so what do you think? What do you think about Styx avoiding these hits? What do you think about them playing Mr. Roboto? And are there any other bands that you can think of that steer clear of some of their biggest songs? You know, put it down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Be sure to subscribe, and I will talk to you later.